Hey guys, RedPandaMining here. Hope you're doing well. Having a really great day this video. Alright, I just saw and heard that a Bitaxe Gamma won a Bitcoin block, solo mined a Bitcoin block. Just insane. And the gentleman who did it apparently had, I think, 5 or 6 other Bitaxe Gammas mining to his address as well, but it was just one of the Bitaxe Gammas obviously that found a Bitcoin block, which is just wild. And so I want to go and talk about that today. Go on the computer, we'll see, exactly what his address, his worker name. We can see that on CKPool.org. That was the solo mining pool that he was on. Okay, of course there's a bunch of other ways. A lot of people have been solo mining Bitcoin recently. It's, Umbrel with public pool, or maybe people with FutureBit Apollos, or just, self-sovereign individuals who are hosting their own node and solo mining to their own node and hitting blocks, that's the way it's supposed to be. And it's been happening more so, I'd say, this past year, because a lot of people have been getting into these types of devices, whether it's Bitaxes, Avalon Nano 3S's, maybe even the Lucky Miners. Not very many people are fond of these Lucky Miners because of their closed source operating system. Unlike the Bitaxe with the Axe OS, it is open source. And that's why everyone loves these ones a lot more. So before we go on the computer, I just want to announce we're going to do a giveaway on one of these Bitaxe Gammas. Thank you to plebsource.com. They're going to provide the Bitaxe Gamma to give away for you guys. All you guys got to do is comment down below your thoughts on the person who hit the Bitcoin block and which Bitcoin solo miner is the one that you like the most. Is it Bitaxe Gammas, Canon, Avalon Nano 3S's, maybe Avalon Q's? There's a lot of different models out there. NerdQ X++'s, Octa Axes. You guys let me know down below. And I'll choose the winner after 24 hours for a Bitaxe Gamma on behalf of plebsource.com. If you guys are interested in purchasing any of these types of devices, links down below. Use code RPM for 5% off if you're interested in any of these devices. All right, now I want to go on the computer and let's look at the gentleman who found a Bitcoin block. Let's look at his stats, see how much hash rate he had in total, and just see how lucky this guy was to find a Bitcoin block with these Bitaxe Gammas. Now, is it something that everyone is going to find a block? No, and that's what I want to talk about throughout this video. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the computer. Well, somebody found a Bitcoin block 4 hours ago as of recording here on CKPool.org. And it looks like they have done it with 6 terahash, or it looks like 6.65 terahash over the past day. And just a crazy thing is that they've only been doing this for less than a month. I think since October 25th, 2025. It is November 21st, 2025 as of recording. So less than a month, this person has been mining with, by the looks of it, Bitaxe Gammas, 1.2 terahash. Okay, this is probably the most popular Bitaxe Gamma, 1.2 terahash. I mean, there are Lucky Miners that do 1.2 terahash as well, but most likely, I think the most popular one is going to be the Bitaxe Gamma, 1.2 terahash. That people use to solo mine Bitcoin. And that's wild. So they got a best share, 221.39 terahash, which I think makes it the biggest share on CKPool, top difficulty share right here. Yeah, 221.39 T with 6 terahash, 6.64 terahash. That is unbelievable. That is absolutely insane, actually. But hey, this goes to show, this guy got really lucky, and also goes to show that really any little tiny device like a Bitaxe Gamma is able to find a Bitcoin block. But obviously they got very, very lucky, right? Their chances with, 7 terahash here, finding a Bitcoin block within less than a month, that is pretty damn lucky, extremely lucky. So the rest of this video, I kind of want to talk about just a few other things. How many blocks has CKPool found over the past year, as well as there's a bunch of other, there's Umbrel, and people use public pool. It's an open source Bitcoin mining pool that you can host yourself at home. How many, blocks have these found, and how many FutureBit Apollos, which personally, I am running a FutureBit Apollo 2. solo mining myself to my own node. I have about 66 terahash, 67 terahash right now, solo mining to my own node locally here. Have I found a Bitcoin block yet? No. All right. And so it's kind of like, I want to just go through just a bunch of stuff here. Also talking about acknowledging that the Bitcoin network hash rate has been dropping. So this also may help with the, the chances of all of us who are solo mining Bitcoin. Since the hash rate's dropping, difficulty is also going to be dropping as well. So that's going to increase our chances in a sense. Looks like we're going to have the next difficulty drop 2.6%. Yeah, that's going to happen in 5 days as of recording. So we're going to have a bit higher chance to get a Bitcoin block in a sense because the hash rate is coming down here. So yeah, we got some good things ahead, maybe because, I mean, not good things in terms of the market going down, but for anyone that is solo mining Bitcoin or solo mining really across the board amongst all different networks, SHA-256 or any other network out there, whether you're GPU mining or CPU mining or anything like that. I mean, across the board, especially when the market's going down like this, people are going to be turning off. So if you're solo mining, the chances of you getting a block now is going to be a little bit higher because the network hash rate in total, you can see here, is coming down. So just wild, man. Bitaxe Gammas, I have, how many do I have? I think I have 4 or 5 running right now to my own node. I have BG02s, the magic miners. I have Nano 3Ss, Nano 3s. Yeah, Bitaxe Gammas. So I have not, obviously I have not found a Bitcoin block. Otherwise I'd let you guys know. But if I did, I have a good amount of hash rate. I have a good amount of hardware that I'm solo mining with, and I'm spending a pretty penny every day, to have these little devices on, right? I have Lucky Miner modded LV08. I got this one from Pleb Source. Looks like they're selling the Lucky X5 now. They had the closed source. Lucky Miner sells it as a closed source miner, so you can't do anything or upgrade the firmware. But Pleb Source has modded it so that it now has the Axe OS, which is the Bitaxe Gamma, all the Bitaxe OS. So you can, do anything, overclock it, update it, all that kind of stuff. So it's open source now. The Lucky X5 that Pleb Source has modded. So that's pretty cool. If you guys are interested in this, use code RPM, you get another 5% off. So link down below if you're interested. But anyways, let me know down below what you guys are running with right now. I know that, looking on CKPool.org, if you see, top user hash rates, you can see there's plenty of people with more than the person, more hash rate than the person just found, with 6 terahash. So people are running a couple hundred terahash solo mining, but you can see majority of people here are, have not found a block yet. And the guy that had 6 Bitaxes finding a block, extremely lucky. One thing, and this is just hearsay, okay, one thing I've been looking into, okay, this is just for, maybe configuring these Bitaxes or optimizing these Bitaxes, is people have been trying to get really steady hash rate on these things. Now it depends on the overclock and the voltage that you put forth on these things. So I've been seeing that people have been trying to do a lot of testing in terms of getting them really optimized, hash rate extremely stable. When you look at the, I wish I had an example up here, but maybe I'll do another video on this. But I've been talking with a dude who's been optimizing a lot of these Bitaxes, not just Gammas, but could be the NerdQ Axe++, or recently I actually just bought 3 more of these Nerd Octa Axe 10 terahash ones from Mindshop. And so, there's been a bit of optimizations you can do in terms of getting the hash rate a lot more stable and not so like all over the place. If you look at the hash rate that you can achieve on these things in the web GUI, you can see that sometimes depending on the voltage, how much power you're putting through it. Of course, I think more power going into it is going to bode better because that it's going to be able to compute. So the more power essentially you put to it, but depending the frequency that you have it at, you want to make sure the hash rate is really stable and it's just like not fluctuating all over the place. Now that's something I haven't tested. That's something that I've just been learning about. Let me know down below if you guys have been optimizing your Bitaxe Gammas. Maybe you've changed the power supply to have a lot steadier voltage going to your Bitaxe Gamma or any other unit out there. Stay tuned. I bought a few custom power supplies. I'm going to be changing my Bitaxe Gammas, and notably my Nerd Oct-Ax. This is the 10.9 terahash model that I'm going to be changing to, because I don't really trust the... It comes with the great XT60, XT60 plug, but the power supply that I have connected to it is getting really hot, and I trust having like a server grade style power supply. Anyways, so how many Bitcoin solo blocks have been found on CKPool.org, for example, or Public Pool, or FutureBit miners? So let's look at CKPool.org first. Okay, so over the past 11 months, okay, over the past year, actually, just looking at it, looks like CKPool.org has found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 blocks over the past 11 months. Okay, so within this year, 2025, okay, there's been, or actually, I can start from here. 2025, January. The last one was December 21st, 2024. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 blocks over the past year, okay, in 2025. Now, I do recall not all of these, for those that found a block on CKPool.org here, not all of them were from Bitaxes, okay? Some of them were from those that found higher difficulty shares with, you know, couple hundred terahash. Okay, it's not just, you know, Bitaxe Gammas that are finding, you know, Bitcoin blocks. It's people that have much more hash rate. So you can see, you know, depending on the difficulty shares here, you can see that some of these guys have, let's see here. There's some of them turned off already, but you know, some of them have like 25 terahash, it's 163 terahash, but you can see majority of them have really low amount of hash rate, and that have been finding Bitcoin blocks. Actually, I was looking at the wrong column here. So some of these guys have in the petahash, 12 petahash, 18 petahash, 1.64. So a lot of these guys have a lot of hash rate, but then of course we got this guy, lonely guy here that just found a Bitcoin block, 4.6 or 6 terahash, okay, with Bitaxe Gammas. Just insane, right? Just insane. But again, there are people with petahash worth of, you know, like 20 to 50 to 100, you know, S21s, you know, in the petahash range of Bitcoin hash rate. So all types, you know, it just goes to show that all types of hardware are finding Bitcoin blocks. But of course, out of hundreds, I'm going to say millions of people that are solo mining Bitcoin out there, it's obviously a very, very low chance, right? And the whole thought process with this whole solo Bitcoin mining thing is people are lottery mining, right? It's a gamble, right? We're all gambling every 10 minutes. That's how this is all portrayed. I kind of hate portraying it like that. It's really just all based on luck. And like at this point, because there's so much hash rate out there, there's so many of these miners out there that are solo mining Bitcoin. But anyways, so 13 blocks. Okay, so you can generally see over this past 2025, 13 blocks have been found, whether or not it's from a Bitaxe or from a bigger miner in the petahash range with, you know, S21 XPs or something. Then we have Public Pool. Okay, so Public Pool is the fully open source solo Bitcoin mining pool software people can run at home. You can install it on any computer, run the Bitcoin node at home, and then run Public Pool that you can solo mine your devices to it locally. Okay, locally to your within your network. Okay, so let's see. I believe, you know, mempool.space, I think they're missing 2 more. I think I remember looking on Public Pool itself a month ago. I think they actually have found 4 this year. So there's been, I think, 4 solo miners that have that are running Umbrel on Public Pool that have found a Bitcoin block solo at home using Public Pool. So I'm going to say 4 there. So 4 plus 13, including the CKPool.org. So we have 17 blocks found solo this year. Okay. Then we have the FutureBit Apollo. So according to mempool.space, looks like we have about 2 that have been found by a FutureBit Apollo. I have one, including myself. I have one. Now, obviously, I haven't found one yet. I would love to find one. But it just goes to show, right, there are a couple of these types of devices finding, FutureBit Apollos have been finding a block as well. Umbrel, Public Pool, 4, granted 4, okay, out of like the hundreds of thousands of people out there solo mining Bitcoin. And then CKPool.org, people that are putting their devices to CKPool.org instead of their own node. Now, I guess it's kind of interesting to think that CKPool.org on average has been finding more Bitcoin blocks, but that kind of makes sense because they have a lot more hash rate on their pool here, solo mining. So let's just see, past 7 days, 225 petahash. Yeah, so it kind of makes sense as to why, yeah, they're finding, more blocks on average than, let's say, public pool or future bit Apollos, because majority of people that are mining with these devices are probably only have, a couple like under 10 terahash, small miners, right? Anyways, I just wanted to, give perspective here on how many blocks have actually been found this year. And just goes to show, under 20 blocks over the past, in 2025, that someone has solo mined a Bitcoin block, which is after fees, 3.18, 3.15, all that kind of stuff. So, that's worth like, how much is that worth? Like $260,000 as of recording, with Bitcoin at $84,000. The price of Bitcoin doesn't matter for anyone that's solo mining Bitcoin. So, it doesn't matter at that rate, because everyone is already paying their electrical bill out of pocket for those that are solo mining Bitcoin. But moving along, okay, so now I want to acknowledge here, since the price of Bitcoin that has been going down, the hash rate for Bitcoin has also been dropping. So this is going to increase our chances for anyone that is solo mining Bitcoin. This is going to increase our chance to getting or finding a Bitcoin block. Whether or not you are hosting your own Bitcoin node at home, whether it's a future bit Apollo, public pool using Umbrel, or pointing your miner to CKPool.org, which seems to be the popular choice for a lot of people here. So am I saying to go out and buy these lottery miners, for en masse for anyone that wants to try to participate in getting a Bitcoin block? No, I'm going to say at this point, there are, I'm going to say over 500,000 people out there. I mean, in a sense, it's great that we are decentralizing the hash rate and, getting more nodes out there and all that kind of stuff. But just don't spend money that you think you're going to get rich, okay, tomorrow. Okay, this is something where this is extreme. This is an extreme lottery play. Don't go out and spend thousands of dollars to, solo mine Bitcoin. Okay, don't go out and buy like 10 of these thinking that you're going to get a Bitcoin block just because someone else did. Again, the amount of people that have bought these are in the hundreds of thousands. And out of the hundreds of thousands of people who have gotten into solo mining Bitcoin, maybe 0.00003% of those people are actually going to get a Bitcoin block. So just understand, the money that you're spending, please only spend the money that you are willing to lose. And maybe it's just, really expendable income. Okay. If you're living paycheck to paycheck and, you don't got money to spend for the next month or something, don't go out and buy these thinking that you're going to get a Bitcoin block. I've seen some people who have done that and, essentially like over leverage themselves thinking like, oh man, I'm going to get rich by, mining Bitcoin. And no. It doesn't work like that. Okay, the chance of you getting a block is very low. This gentleman who found the block just recently, he was just extremely lucky. He got extremely lucky with the 6 Bitaxes. So don't like just go full ham on this type of thing. Again, only invest that money that you can afford to lose. Okay, if you're going to be getting into something like this is a very I know a lot of people say, oh, it's better than lottery. It's better than buying a lottery ticket. I kind of hate saying that because it's like kind of like swindling people in a way. And I just hate that, honestly. And it's like, I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, just money that you're going to be spending on this. Just understand that it's a very low chance. And for all of us that are doing this right now, including myself, I may not even find a Bitcoin block, in my lifetime here. If I do, that would be great. But the chance of me right now, I have a higher chance, I think majority more than anyone, because I have a decent amount of hardware that's, solo mining Bitcoin right now. I have a lot of little devices that I have pointed to my own node. I don't know. I've been thinking of switching up some to CKPool.org just to spread out my chances, I guess, in a sense. I don't know if it works that way, but, I just think that now that the hash rate for Bitcoin is coming down, I think we are now going to have a bit higher chance, right? Anyways, guys, I think that's it. That's all I wanted to record about this video, and just acknowledging that this guy found a Bitcoin block, which is just wild. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys are planning on doing. And yeah, let me know how you're solo mining Bitcoin or something. So, all right, I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good one. Peace out. Peace out.